They say the crown is heavy, but in the wrong hands, it is poisoned. A king may be born to rule his people with justice, or he may be born to destroy them with greed. And in this land, long ago, there lived a king whose name is still spoken in bitterness and fear. Before we dive into this story of a man who ruled with hunger, not for food, not for power, but for women. He stole what was not his, and no one dared to say no. But one day, a voice did say no. And from that moment, the walls of his kingdom began to crumble. Kindly subscribe, like and share. This is the story of Obadiah, the tyrant king who stole every wife, until one woman stood against him. The kingdom of Erawa was rich in soil and water. Traders came from far lands to buy yams, gold, ivory. From the outside, it seemed like a paradise. But the people lived with shadows in their hearts, for their king was a terror. King Obadiah had ruled for 20 years. He was tall and broad, with eyes that burned like fire. When he laughed, it was thunder. When he grew angry, it was lightning. His palace was filled with riches beyond counting, yet he was never satisfied. Indeed, Obadiah hunted women. It was said he had over 50 wives, yet still he searched for more. No marriage in the kingdom was safe. No wedding was sacred. If the king desired a woman, he took her. Husbands were beaten. Fathers were silenced. Mothers wept in secret. The council of elders kept silent, fattened by his gift of gold. The guards obeyed, fearing death. And so the kingdom lived in quiet despair, waiting for the day someone would dare defy him. Far from the palace, lived a maiden named Amora. Her beauty was unmatched, not only in face, but in spirit. Her laughter was like cool water on a dry day. Her kindness, like shade under the palm trees. But what made Amora most remarkable was her love. For she loved a hunter named Oba. Oba was no rich man. His hut was small, his hands rough from bow and arrow. But he was brave, loyal, and gentle. When he returned from the forest with antelope or bushmeat, Amora would meet him by the river. Their eyes would light up at the sight of one another, and the world seemed at peace. One day, Amora, I will build us a hut so strong even the rains will bow before it. And in that hut, we will raise children who will laugh as we laugh now. Says Oba. Amora, smiling, touching his arm, replied, I need no palace, Oba. Only you. For my heart is yours. Their love was pure, untouched by greed or fear. But destiny, cruel as the sun at noon, was already watching them. For their joy would soon catch the eyes of the tyrant king. It was the season of harvest. The villages gathered for the great festival, drums echoing, dancers swirling, fires burning. Amora, dressed in bright wrappers of red and gold, danced with her friends. Her beauty outshined all others. And on that day, King Obadiah came to the village. Seated high upon his golden stool, surrounded by guards with spears, he watched the maidens. His gaze swept over them, and stopped upon Amora. King Obadiah in a low voice asked, Who is she? The guard responded, Her name is Amora, my king. Daughter of Uduak, the farmer. King, smiling darkly. Bring her to me. The music faltered. The dancers slowed. Amora was pulled before the king, trembling, yet her eyes did not lower. The king said, with a smooth voice, "Your beauty humbles even the stars. From this day, you shall be my queen. You will wear gold. You will sit beside me." The crowd held its breath. Everyone knew she must bow. Everyone knew she must say yes. But Amora did not. "I thank you, my lord, but I cannot," she responded. Shockwave sound, gasps from the crowd. The king, leaning forward, with eyes blazing. "You refuse me. I am promised. My heart belongs to another. I belong to no man but the one I choose," she said. A silence fell heavy. Never in 20 years, had anyone refused the king. But Amora stood tall, her voice echoing like thunder in the stunned crowd. The king's voice trembling with fury. "If I cannot have you, then no man will." That night, Amora's parents wept and raged. They knelt before her, begging her to change her answer. "Amora, do you wish us all to die? If you reject the king, he will burn our farm, kill your father, and destroy us." Her mother pleaded. Her father said angrily, "Better you sit in the palace than we lie in graves. Think of your family before your heart." Amora, softly, but firmly said, "I cannot betray my soul. What is life without love? I would rather die free than live chained." Her words, though brave, brought only fear to her family. And the king, in his fury, plotted his vengeance. The first assassin came with poisoned palm wine. But Oba poured it upon the earth, and the ground hissed like fire. Another came with a dagger in the forest, but Oba's arrow struck him down. Then came men with nets at night, but the hunter vanished into the shadows. Villagers whispered, "He cannot be killed. The spirits walk with him." At last, Amora wept and begged Oba to flee, even if it meant leaving her. For if he stayed, the king would not stop until blood was spilled. "I will return, Amora. By the spirits, I swear it. No king, no crown, no sword will keep me from you," he said, with a broken voice. And so he fled, not knowing the truth that awaited him in another land. Oba reached the hut of his grandmother, far in a distant kingdom. The old woman, frail but wise, saw him and wept. At last, the truth must be told. "You are no ordinary hunter, child. You are the son of the rightful king. Obodil is your uncle, and your father's murderer. Your mother was banished before you were born, hidden here to save your life. You are the true heir." So he was told. The words struck like thunder. Oba, the hunter, the outcast, was a prince. The throne was his by blood. And now, fate demanded he claim it. "Then I will return. Not for power, not for gold, but to end his terror. For Amora. For the people." He yelled. With allies at his side, Oba returned. The people, weary of chains, rose with him. The palace was stormed. The tyrant king was dragged before the crowd, not slain in silence, but judged in the open. One by one, the people came forth. A man cried for his stolen wife. A woman wept for her broken home. Soldiers confessed to murders ordered by the king. His crimes filled the air like smoke. The crowd began to chant, "Justice! Justice!" And Oba, now the crowned king, declared the sentence. "Strip him. Let the people see what he truly is." Oba commanded. His robes were torn away. His crown shattered. He was paraded through the streets in rags, spat upon, mocked, beaten with words. No longer a lion, but a rat. At last, he was cast into exile, never to return. And so Oba took the throne, not as a tyrant, but as a just king. At his side stood Amora, the woman who dared to say no. Their love, once haunted, now became the heart of a new kingdom. The people learned a lesson: crowns may glitter, but without justice, they are nothing. Power may steal, but it cannot buy love. And evil, no matter how long it reigns, will always bow before truth. And so ends the tale of the tyrant king. A man who thought he could take every wife, until one woman stood her ground. Remember this, dear listener, never bow to a throne built on lies. For kings may fall, but courage endures forever.